Woo! Guys, I played Star Wars Outlaws for like almost 4 hours. It was a minute I played this game. There's a lot of things I want to go into when it comes to Star Wars Outlaws. First off, you know, this isn't like the typical Ubisoft game. The go find this statue or go to this vantage point and like look through the thing. This isn't the Assassin's Creed formula. And I feel like a lot of people were criticizing Ubisoft for continuously doing these type of games. I'm here to tell you right now, Star Wars Outlaw ain't the same. It's not made on equal terms, man. Like I said, shout out to Ubisoft. They let me play about 3 to 4 hours. And I played a lot. I played a lot of the stealthing missions. I played some of the space combat. I played a decent amount of this game. And the one thing I want to, really go into right now is just the overall gameplay. Star Wars Outlaws is kind of like play how you want. I do feel like they highly encourage stealth mechanics. But when I was playing, there was a variety of things that I did where I just broke what they wanted me to do and what they were clearly building the world to do and just went in there guns blazing. And I'm here to tell you it actually worked out pretty well. I was worried about Star Wars Outlaws for a lot of different perspectives because when I look at the Star Wars franchise, I think we can all agree that it's hard to really grasp onto any kind of Star Wars content without what? Without a Jedi. From Star Wars Unleashed to the Fallen franchise, Star Wars Fallen Order, these type of games really center a Jedi in the midst. Like that's the center of attention is a Jedi. So when we're going to this individual, and she is essentially a bounty hunter of some form. Maybe she's not exactly a bounty hunter, but the thing I did notice is that they make her gameplay very, very fluent. When you're sitting there going around, you see all these types of people going around, and the stealth in the game is pretty solid, I would actually say. I was really enjoying it. And it's like I said, I don't like games that encourage stealth play, but they only let you do stealth play. There's so many games out there that they're like, this is a stealth game, but they won't let you play any other way. Star Wars Outlaw is not really that. You can go in here guns blazing. They got the Sam Fisher from Splinter Cell, where it's Splinter Cell Convention, where you can like pick multiple people at once and shoot them all. They got multiple routes to do everything in this game. There's no one thing. You can play this game exactly how you want. There's no deciding factor on here. And one of the things I want to point out is the gameplay. The guns itself actually felt very solid. I would actually say that the guns on this game didn't feel weak to any degree. I felt like the characters spoke really well. I didn't really see any characters in the 4 hours that I actually did, but I will say, in terms of like popular characters, I didn't really see any of them. But I will say that, I saw an upgraded system when it comes to your ship, so I assume there's some kind of, kind of skill tree when it comes to the ship. I'm unaware completely. There was this one point where I went to like this Imperial fuel station out in the middle of space. So there's to me, keep in mind, I only played this for 4 hours. It did seem like there's going to be a lot of out space kind of stuff. It seemed pretty solid when it comes to stuff like that. A lot of mini games. A lot of there's a splicer mini game where you have to like click the beat that's going on or the vibration or sometimes there would be there's actual visible thing that's going on the splicer that shows you when you have to click it. That was probably the hardest one to do. I could probably give you a little bit of detail on how I played this. That's probably relevant. I pretty much streamed from someone else streaming to what I understood. So what I would do is I would remote to someone else's PC and they would remote into another one. And even with that, I'll say that the combat felt fluid to a degree. Obviously, I'm streaming the game, but the combat still felt fluid. And I think that that's the only part of the game that hurt me a little bit with the streaming was that timing on that splicer mini game. There's, like I said, there's multiple ways of doing things. What I like is the visual representation of the Empire in this. I'm not a huge hardcore Star Wars fan by any means, but when you're sitting here looking around and they're wanting you to sneak around these like Imperial battleships and you've seen all the TIE fighters just laying around, it was very, very, what's what I'm looking for? It was eye candy to a Star Wars fan. And I'm a casual Star Wars fan. You know, what was interesting too is when I was playing this, I noticed it's weird seeing the Empire in some way, shape, or form as being the good guy. Now, we obviously know they ain't the good guy, but you're clearly an outlaw. So when you're sneaking around messing up, the Empire kind of feels like they're the good guy and you're the bad guy. One thing I will say is they have a wanted system. There's different factions in the game. There is the Pike Syndicate, the Crimson Dawn, the Hutt Cartel, and the Ashko Clan. I probably butchered all of those. So essentially how the reputation system works in Star Wars Outlaws is those four, sometimes you can work on one without upsetting the other, but sometimes one will have you steal from the other. So you're going to naturally piss one of them off by gaining favor with another one. Now, I didn't see a situation where you piss everyone off. There's probably that here. What I did enjoy about this is they actually show you the rewards to working with these factions. And they show you the consequences to work with the factions. Really enjoyed that. You know, they had some good abilities. There was like an icon ability where, you know, I'm shooting the electricity. It's like an ion blast where you're actually focused mainly towards robots, which I thought that was interesting. Didn't come across too many robots, but, you know, one thing I will say is just the spaceship in general felt very fluid. When I'm flying through space, you know, did it seem a little, you know, maybe loose, maybe floaty a little bit? Yeah. But I don't think, you know, tight controllers are necessary to fly around on a ship, to be quite honest with you. But, you know, when it comes down to this, I'm going to be real with you guys. You know, sit down. Come up, take a chair, sit down. I was really feeling this game. I'm not going to front on you. I was feeling this game. I felt like this game has a lot of potential in a lot of different ways. Look, I get it. There's a lot of stuff going on with this title that a lot of people ain't feeling. But what I will say is if you didn't like the fact that Ubisoft rinse and repeats a lot of the same type of mechanics that they've been doing since the original Assassin's Creed, like the lookout points that they carried over to Watch Dogs, this game is for you. I didn't see anything wrong with the game. The game looks gorgeous, even when it's streaming. I can't imagine what the final product going to look. You know, that's just me. I actually really enjoyed my playthrough of this game. I'm kind of curious if they're going to sneak some kind of, you know, Star Wars Jedi in this game. You know, they've done that with past games where you're not necessarily playing as like a famous Jedi, but you see famous Jedi in the game or famous Sith. This is during the Empire, so I'll be curious to see if we see like Darth Vader in this game in any way, shape, or form. I do feel like this game's going to do good. And just from what I played of it, like I said, just 3 to 4 hours. I got through the whole demo. I really enjoyed what I played, and I think people are going to like this game. Is it going to be like this end-all, be-all, great Star Wars? I don't know. But one thing I will tell you is felt like it was a good experience, and I feel like a lot of you would enjoy it. But anyway, the Lords got their hands on this. It was a fantastic experience. For me, that is. I was the only one of the Lords that played it because I was the one that was able to make it to the hearing or whatever it is, the play session. But I appreciate everyone for coming through. If you guys enjoyed this video, definitely hit that like button. It's always appreciated. You can always sub to the channel. We do weekly podcasts every Sunday at 1 p.m. known as the Iron Lords Podcast. And without any further ado, you guys have a great day. Peace.